If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Have you ever wondered why Gohan, despite being so central in Dragon Ball Z, never quite became the series star? Let's dive in and unravel what really happened behind the scenes. And okay, that sounds similar. That sounds similar to this. Gohan entered the story as a clear contrast to the typical martial artists around him. Unlike Goku, he never actually wanted to fight. And that Gohan's destiny as a warrior was thrust upon him, and he faced tough battles more out of necessity than any burning desire for strength. Back in the 90s, especially after the Cell Saga, Gohan stood out for fans in the West. Viewers connected with his sense of vulnerability and the fact that he was way out of his element, while Goku was all about fighting and growing stronger. Gohan just wanted a normal life. But for many, he was actually their first real Dragon Ball hero. Of course, that all changed after Cell. Gohan was supposed to step up as the new main character. At the start of Dragon Ball Z, Goku turns up with little Gohan, who prefers books to battles. As the story unfolds, tragedy strikes, and Gohan has to grow up fast, especially when he's mentored by the once evil Piccolo. And watching their camaraderie bloom is bittersweet. Piccolo learns kindness. Gohan faces giant lizards, and together they weather hardship after hardship. From losing friends in battle to witnessing Piccolo's sacrifice, Gohan barely gets a break before going off on more wild adventures. Through the Namek and Cell sagas, Gohan keeps showing that he's brave, sometimes even more so than his father, and every outburst packs an emotional punch. And but what makes him compelling is how different he is from Goku. Gohan didn't choose this path. He's a kid forced to carry the weight of the world while his dad fights because he loves it. Originally, the plan was for Gohan to lead the story after the Cell Saga. He'd finally get what he wanted, and the series would wrap up. But then enter the Buu saga, and things took an unexpected turn. Gohan is a bit older, but he's more interested in studying and superhero antics than existential threats. He drifts out of the spotlight, and a big reason for that is simple. Toriyama, the creator, just didn't vibe with Gohan like the fans did. Back in the day, Gohan became a source of inspiration for a whole generation. Even though he was often scared and flawed, he always found a way to push through. He was an unlikely hero among seasoned fighters, thrown into chaos rather than seeking it out. Interestingly, the series was actually set up for Gohan to take the protagonist's mantle. But Akira Toriyama changed his mind. He realized he just wasn't as invested in Gohan's character. Admitting that he didn't think Gohan fit as the leading hero, and Japanese polls at the time backed this up. Gohan's popularity sank, and Toriyama decided to keep the familiar face of Goku at the center. Fast forward, Gohan's development slows, and His role shrinks in later arcs and spin-offs, and his story never gets that conclusive arc fans craved. Um, looking back, Gohan's path almost feels like it was hastily resolved and tragically left, unfinished. Plenty of us grew up with Gohan and felt for him that he faced constant peril, and his story made him mature before his time. Um, it's a little sad thinking about what might have been if Gohan had become the hero all along. But this, um, sure, it would. Goku kept the spotlight, uh, but sometimes that's just how stories go. Uh, um, to end on a lighter note, if Gohan had actually taken over, Dragon Ball might have turned into a series about cramming for finals rather than fighting Frieza. At least Goku never failed a math test to save the world. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.